Peace and blessings. This is Lisa Marie Goodson, and I'm early, which is good. So, what I'm going to wait for is I'm going to make sure that we are broadcasting on the Blackberry Beauty page as well. And the way to do that is hold on one sec. So, I got on a little early. I'm going to get better at this. Hey, Erica. Hey, Erica. Hola. Very good. I see it. Okay, let's share it. Come on, thing. Don't play with me. Okay. Hold on one sec, ladies. Yes, let's share this to the Blackberry Beauty so it can go there at the same time. Yes. Hold on one sec. Okay. All right. And I know Sadia is going to be coming in soon. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to look for Sadia. So let's see. Okay. Now see me. You know what? Just to test this out and to make sure that I'm on the other one as well. Well, y'all got like a bachata song in my head, and it is just. I gotta tell you what I did today. I had the greatest birthday. Yes, I did. I did. I did. Let's see. I think it's coming in. Okay, I don't see it yet, but I'm gonna assume that it is here. So that is the yes, it is. Yes, all right, yes. So yeah, it's live. Okay, cool. Okay, great. So let's see. Let me go back down. Hold on one sec. Okay, let me see who's on. So hey, Kendra. Hey, Jacqueline here. Mona. Hey, Mona White. Hey, Nicole. Latanda. Cindy. Erica. Hey, happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Nicole. Latanda. Hey, goddesses, she says, Mona, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Sadia is watching. So, Sadia, you're going to come on, right? Because the Sadia, I need you to actually come on. So, request to come on. Let me see. Maybe you did. Let me just see if you, yes, you did. Here we go. Adding. Let's see. I want to make sure. I want to make sure we got Sadia, or we just might as well just get off now. We don't connecting. Okay, we are connecting. And we are on. Hey, Sadia, how are you?
Please,
Wait, I hear you, but I don't hear you. Let me see. I don't have any volume.
can you see
So
me?
let me see why.
Can
So,
you?
yes, I can hear you now and see it.
Okay, great. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a glorious birthday. So I want to tell you what I did today because it was very wonderful. It was something I don't know. It was a very wonderfully unusual birthday for me. I stayed in, so I went to Whole Foods first because I had to get some food. Because I realized that in North Carolina, I'm not as grounded. And I was thinking that I just wasn't grounded because I went to DR and came back and I haven't really called my spirit back yet. But no, in actuality, a friend of mine came over after I came from Whole Foods and she said, if you remember, you talked about not being grounded here anymore, that you're flying already, that you've already left. So it was a great reminder for me and it made me be okay with where I was because where I am is good.
Mhm.
So let me tell you what I did. I want to say I drenched myself in music today. I drenched myself. I submerged and then I emerged from the holy waters of bachata. As many of you know, I spent time in Republica Dominicana and that but bachata music is up in my soul. It's in the crevices. Like I know bachata singers. I didn't watch all my docs on it. Like I can't explain the love that I have for that music, but I know it's because of the Africanness of it and
Mhm.
the connection to that. And I believe West Africa. I believe the kind of high life music is very similar. So that's what I did. I ain't go out. I've been in, and I never stopped the music, and now I'm just blessed. So I had a great day. I had a great day.
Aw.
How was yours, Sadia?
Pretty quiet. I was indoors most of the time with my sister and my niece, so yeah, pretty quiet. Yeah.
What's the weather like where you are? Is it nice?
Grey but kind of warmish. Not too
Okay,
hot, not too cold, so I cannot complain.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can't complain, but we're gonna get you in the sun anyway, because
Yes,
everybody needs sun.
definitely.
You know what? I was like thinking about this. I was thinking about how, when you go, I don't know, for me, when I leave the States, where we have all the seasons and the gloomy weather, sometimes, beautiful weather that fluctuates. I'm just going to say that. But then you go to a Caribbean island, or I'm sure at the continent, which we're going to talk about today, and you see what real sun is. You know the weather's going to be hot tomorrow and hot next week and hot the next day,
Yeah.
right? And how much, and there's a lifestyle that's around that. People are conversing more. People are more outdoors.
Mm.
People are communing. And then you come back to the U.S. and the weather fluctuates, and it's not as communal, and people got things to do and got to go to work and all these things. And you say, oh my God, if I'm not careful, I could start getting used to this again,
Yeah.
where this becomes almost normal, but it's such a not normal. It's
Mm.
such a unwelcoming normal. It's such a like there's tension with this normal.
Yeah.
It's funny how normal is not even always good. It's
Yeah.
just normal. It's just horrible. So it occurred to me how horrible that thought was. And I said, wow, you kind of almost have to have a fighting spirit to travel,
Yeah.
have a fighting spirit to go places you've never been before. Because this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a lot of these ladies, Sadia, they really want to go to Ghana, but they're afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
They're afraid of, and they're also, remember, I said, this normal is somewhat comforting. That's what you think when you don't, it's very comforting. So today I wanted to talk a little bit to those ladies that really want to go to Ghana, but they are either afraid because they've heard stuff about it,
Mm.
or they have never took a trip so far. All these are great,
Yeah.
legitimate things to be thinking about, or they just are, that unknown is so freaking scary. They don't even want to really, they're not ready for this. So,
Mm.
but I believe they are ready. I believe many people are ready to go. I have to tell you, I think if there's any fear of traveling to Ghana, it is of the fear of the magnitude and the power that it has. And actually, there's nothing to fear in that. I think the women on some level are feeling that as well. Like,
Mm.
yo, this is deep. Like, we're not
Yeah.
just going to Seattle. For anybody that's in Seattle, I'm sure it's a beautiful place. Or North Carolina, we're going to Africa,
Yeah.
and there's things they're going to want to know. So, how would you ease someone's mind tonight that is watching and really want to come to this Africa luxury 1 week in Africa, Ghana? We're doing it, beautiful hotel, just all kinds of beautiful accommodations. But still, even though we made it beautiful, they might be a little nervous. How can you address that? Is there anything you can help them to ease their fear or worry?
I would say because we've created this retreat based around creating a sacred space as like a healing space for you, all of your needs are taken care of. So you don't really have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about finding food or not knowing the language, even though we are a former British colony, so pretty much everyone speaks English. And it's a really safe place where, luckily enough, not to have been touched by any wars. So it's a really safe place. You can walk about. No one's going to hurt you. You feel safe. The food's clean. You're not going to go out and get food poisoning or any of those things. But so all those kind of like material things that you think about when you're traveling. I mean, we take care of we're going to get a car. Everyone's going to be driven everywhere, so you're not going to feel like you're out on your own. And even when we do go out in groups, if you want to go to the market or something to buy souvenirs or just to explore the local area, you'll always have someone with you. No one's going to kidnap you and snatch you off the street.
Right,
which is
right.
a scary thing,
Yeah,
because you tend to
yes,
think of countries which are not Western or modern
right.
in the same as, oh, how am I going to get around? Are people going to want to kind of steal things off from me? But obviously, you have to be aware. Like I'm sure everyone's quite streetwise in that
Yeah,
it is a less well off country, but
yes,
it doesn't like it's a safe country to go to. We've got lots of people. I mean, when I was in university, I had lots of friends who left my university and went to Ghana and traveled around Ghana. And like Ghanaians are such happy, safe people. But I know what it's like to be afraid of traveling because my parents were actually legal immigrants. So the first 9 years or so of my life, I was living in this country which we thought was we were illegal, but we actually weren't illegal. And so every time I travel, for example, I just traveled to upstate New York for my friend's wedding last month. And every time I get to the immigration area, I always get afraid. And I said, I always say, where are they going to deport you to? If they're going to deport you back to Ghana, you'll be fine. If they're going to deport you back to the UK, you'll be fine. So where do you think that you're going to be deported to? But there's always that fear inside me. Once I get past security, I can almost breathe. But almost for about 2 weeks before I travel, I'm in so much fear.
Right.
Like what's going to, I have all these fears that I can't almost name, but because I'm aware of what's going on in my body, I'm just like, you just need to calm down and breathe. Like nothing's going to happen. You'll be absolutely fine. And every time I'm absolutely fine.
That's
But underlying all of this is telling ourselves new stories. And so I think my work, I believe that my work that I'm here to do, like I'm here on earth to do, and I believe also your work as well, is to tell each other, retell the new stories, so that we're not always healing, but so that we're healed.
right.
At the end of it, there are, I specifically wanted to do a luxurious retreat because Black people are, our story is that our bodies are the most important thing, and bodies, people whose bodies are really important, luxury isn't associated with that. So if you look at what Black people are told that we're good at, we're always told that we're good at things like athletics and entertainment and things that use your body, not necessarily use your intellect. And it's because of the way that I guess the European view kind of rules in this world, and it's the way that people, Europeans came to Africa and saw, oh, these are the people that we can use to build our country. But they never talk about the fact that one of the main reasons why they came and enslaved Africans was because of the knowledge that we have on growing things. So it's that intellect that we had. But the stories that you always see in the history books is that it was the use of bodies, of manual labor, which needed to, they needed a whole heap of manual labor, and that's what they came and took us from our homes and brought us to the Americas and to the islands. And that's not associated with luxury. Being being a manual laborer or being there as an entertainer for other people isn't associated with luxury. And I want to retell that story and kind of expand our expectations for ourselves.
Yes.
Um, and so I would say that if you're a person who's afraid of coming, I completely understand. I'm a person who's afraid of traveling myself, even though I love traveling. I love learning about new places, about new cultures, about new foods, and moreover, learning more about myself, about what kind of challenging my thoughts of what I think is wrong, right or wrong about this
Yeah.
world, and giving myself the space to see things differently and challenge myself. Can I really live in this kind of place? You'll never know until you get there. And we're lucky enough that traveling in this day and age doesn't have to be that far-flung dream.
Right.
Um, because I have people in my family in the older generation who are like, oh, we're always going to go here, we're always going to go there, and they never get there because it's almost like this like mythical land that
Right.
they want, but all they have to do is literally take out their passport and
Yes.
get on the plane.
That's it.
Um, and for me, travel as a black person is actually a rebellious act because
Right.
the fact that you can have a passport and travel is a really massive thing because there's lots of
Yeah.
people in this world who don't have that,
Right.
and lots of, if you think about the board, like these man-made borders which you can't cross, that's just, it's just all made up. And so for
Right.
me, and traveling is an act of rebellion, and also the fact that we've been taken from one place to another, the fact that we can get up and go to that motherland
Right.
is a rebellious act to say that we've been taken, but we can go back and remember and reclaim our
We
power. reclaim our,
Yes.
like the medicine, that medicine, even though that medicine has always been inside us, that power is always inside us, that healing's inside us,
Right.
we can go back. We have the choice to be able to go back. And for me,
Yes.
that's a massive thing, to be able to get up, take my
Yes.
passport and say, I'm
Yes.
going here. You don't have any
Yes.
control over where I travel to.
That's true.
Um, yeah, so if those are your
Beautiful.
fears, I would
You're
say,
right.
I mean, it's okay to be scared.
Yes.
That's the most important. It's fine to be scared, but you can still act with that fear. And I mean, reach out to me, send me an email, or contact Sister Lisa Marie and say, I'm afraid. Like,
That's right.
what can you do to
That's
help
right.
me? And I will
Yes.
hold your hand
Yes.
every step of the way.
Yes.
I'll get on the phone and I'll walk you through everything, because
Yes.
this space is for us to heal. We can only heal when we're in a place where we're comfortable and we feel supported. And it's about claiming that power, and claiming that healing, um, which which is it surrounds us, it's inside us, but on a day-to-day basis, we're more valued for our what we bring to the economy. People, like the what essentially what the world wants us to do is to always keep working and
Right.
um, never to think about the important things. You're always just grinding 9 to 5, 9 to 9, and you don't
Right.
get time to really think about anything. But taking the time, stepping out of that that day-to-day routine just gives you time to envisage a new world for yourself. And for me, that's the most important thing, because what I really want to do is to empower women to go out, to empower other women, and that chain continues. Like just
Right.
like how I felt like you've done for me, like you've empowered me. You're the reason why I can sit here today and talk about these things. And I want more of that. I want to literally, when I open my eyes, to literally be surrounded by that 360 degrees.
Yes. Yes. I think that's the best part. That I think that you said something, and I want to wake up and open my eyes and be surrounded by around that or by that. I think that's why the ladies coming too. I think you're right. I think we all want to be surrounded by that. We all want to be surrounded by that. And that is many things. You mentioned something. You mentioned the fear that you still have no matter how many times you travel. And it's interesting that your fear is around immigration or going through
Mm,
security. Security. Why is the same thing for me? So this is something that I think black women are not, or black even travelers are not having a conversation about that fear. And for me, I don't know if it's so much deportation. Sometimes I'll be like, I hope they ain't see my videos. I hope they don't know what I be saying. Lord, I hope they ain't got me on the list. So sometimes, recently that's come up for me. But I've always had this issue like, what is it about? I said sometimes, I used to feel like TSA made you feel like you did something. Like, I don't have anything in my bag. Like, there's no reason to get stopped, but why do you feel like there could possibly be this reason
yeah,
why they would stop you? And I have to say, Sadia, same like you, the opposite always happens. They're more than kind,
yeah,
more than loving, relax, lay back. Listen, at some point, I'm going to be honest, they know how much you travel.
mm,
They know, they have you in the system. They know
yeah,
when you're a frequent flyer. I had people, I was tell you, I was in first class for the first time, and they were having first class conversations, which was absolutely wonderful. And I remember the guy talked about how because he travels so much in a month, so ladies, you want to start logging in those frequent flyer miles. I want to give you a tip of why this is important, and you're going to get a lot of miles for going to, according to Ghana, because we're
mm,
moving so far. But he talked about how because he travels so many times in a month, they automatically upgrades him to first class. In other words, he can just buy a coach ticket. He said, I've so far in the last 3 months, I think, or four, whatever. I remember he said I traveled 16 times, and in 16 times, I've always been upgraded to first class. I was also overhearing the flight attendants talking, and I was in first class, and there was a seat next to me that was empty. I mean, like I had it going on, like empty seat, already a lot of room. Like my bag had a seat. Like my bag had a seat, y'all. Talk about luxury, okay? So I heard them say 18C. That's something next to me. Like somebody wants to know if they can move up because they must have spotted that the seat was empty. Or maybe they can even go online and know that their seat is available, but they're sitting in coach. And he says, yeah, he said to me, I'm a frequent flyer. Oh, yeah, he used his privilege again. I'm a frequent flyer, so can you let me sit there? And I didn't even hear the rest of the conversation. And nobody actually sat next to me through the whole thing. But I just want to remind you that this is a tip. This is what some people know, that flying actually has its privileges. The other privilege, and I want a lot of the older ladies to know that might be traveling, this gray, little bit of gray, or looking your age, you're not the biggest risk to TSA. So you're not the biggest risk to even immigration. Like, I noticed that. And there's a lot of like TSA free where you're not having to go to security in the same way. People feel very comfortable with that. You can apply for it. It's about, I think, $50 or $80. And for 5 years, you get to not take off your shoes, not have to get, you just really, it's a shorter line and you basically walk through. So I'm just trying to think of some things that could ease our fears. But I was talking to a TSA officer a while ago. I remember before they had this TSA approval, you could buy a 5-year kind of membership where you never stopped, and now you can go through security easier. He was telling me some people would get randomly picked, and sometimes I randomly would get the TSA, meaning I didn't have to take off the shoes. And I talked to the TSA guy. I said, "How do they pick?" He said, "According to age." I noticed that all the people that was randomly online were all mostly gray-haired or older people. So your risk of even being harassed at the airport goes up as you get older as well. The other thing is, well, you got to understand immigration too, is they want you to travel to the country. The very people that you are basically employing them, and they want you to have the best flight that you could have, and they really don't want to stop people unless they have to. So in other words, they would want you to come into the country because your dollars are really supporting the country in a very big way. I mean, these are things you don't really think about, but this is so you want to talk about the universe is conspiring in your favor for you to travel in so many ways. The other thing too is you start being more identified, maybe not always, but I find with the blue passport or the whatever the color of the passport when you're coming from Europe than you do sometimes as color. And I've seen it. I saw it so much when I was in even Trinidad, and then I was in the Dominican Republic. I was an American, and an American, and an American. It was, in the end, I was a Black American, an Africana, but I was still an American. And some sorts, so there's things that they kind of push you through to do. You're a tourist. So there's a lot of games to traveling. And yes, I still get that feeling. I still get that butterfly. But I think it's like anything that you're doing that's exciting, because I'm a performing artist as well. I don't care how many roles I've played or how many, gigs I had or how many, lines that I remember. Every time I act, I was always that same butterfly feeling. So I know it's because you're about to come so much out of yourself, you're not going to even recognize yourself. And ladies, that's why I think we're here. I don't know, Sadia, if you got to talk to the sister that I gave you her number. She wanted to talk to you. Did you connect yet?
No, I called her a couple of times, but I haven't been able to get through to her.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think she's on tonight, and I'm going to make sure. Sister, if you're on, Sadia is here, and she wants to talk to you. So please make sure, if you see a number that looks unusual, it's her number.
Yeah.
So she can call you, because I know you are ready to come. And so she was talking a little bit about, and like I said, anybody want that real thorough information, Sadia, could you tell us how can they get in touch with you? Can you put that in the comment box so the ladies know how to get in touch with you? And you can also tell
So the email address is support@reclaimingthequeen.com, but I'll write it in the box.
That's so perfect. That's so perfect. Because you may have questions about, okay, somebody had a great question, the sister that called, and that's why I'm so glad Sadia is going to talk. So I'm traveling on the 24th. Is it the 24th, Sadia? I always get this.
The 25th to the 25th to the 30th, yeah.
31st?
Yeah.
30th?
The 31st.
Okay. So people want to know, if it's the 25th, do I actually start traveling on the 24th?
Okay.
Or do I start traveling on the 23rd?
Okay.
So they're trying to figure out what that looks like coming from so far away. Are you literally booking for, it says one day, but you're not going to get there to the next? So But those are questions that, if you want to answer, you can. But if not, we can definitely have people, you know,
Yeah, please
talk
email
about it.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, we should do. So those questions, like other things too, Sadia, people may be asking about, do we need, is there certain shots or immunizations that we need
Okay.
to have?
Yeah.
So is there any insight on that?
So I will. I think I'll list all this on the website so everyone can
That's
refer to.
what,
Yeah.
yes, let's do
Yeah.
that. Things you'll have and if you have some frequently asked questions or questions you need to ask, and you put it in the comment box. Sadia is wonderful at looking at the comment box as well as myself. So put it in the comment box. So y'all, we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go to Ghana. I know Ghana is waiting. When I'll say this, Sadia, what I find is once you do start going, once y'all go to Ghana, I know it. Once you start going, if this is your first time traveling, or your first time traveling to the continent, or your first time, or you're a frequent flyer, it doesn't really matter. I find that the more you do, the when you do it, the more you want to do it.
Yeah.
There's something about it that is the most uplifting, life changing, question answering thing that you could ever do. And I think that a lot of people don't really realize that we travel because it's interesting, because we always wanted to go there. But y'all, it's going to be deeper. And I think that you are here for deeper. You know, like I said, it was so nice to be able to talk to this one sister, because I got a lot of insight into who wants to go.
Hmm.
So I'm going to ask you ladies, because I want to do a little interaction. Then we're going to hear from the beautiful Sadia, because I could hear her talk all day. I got questions for her. Um, Ladies, so who's coming to the Ghana trip? When I say who's coming, tell me about why you would want to go to Ghana, because I know there's some sisters that are turning 50, that are 50 plus. So I'll ask a specific question. A couple of y'all spoke to me, and I know a lot of you want to go. So I want to know the ladies that want to go on this trip with us. Well, tell me your ages. How old are you? Or what is this step into your life? Or what is the reason? Because I feel like everybody, I don't feel like Africa is one of those places you just close your eyes and you just pick on the map. I just don't. I think when black people go to Africa, and you kind of spoke about this, that return, because that was the door of no return, but the thing is we return. You talk about the power of traveling. I think when black people go to Africa in the diaspora, I think they're looking for something. I think they're searching for something. I think they're expecting something. I think they know something is there that is not where they are, or at least open them up to what's inside of them that hasn't been emerged. So, what about you? Do you feel that too? That when a diasporan decides to go home, is something grand going on?
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, I mean, because I'm a born and bred Londoner, and the fact that I want to be spend more time in Ghana and also spend more time traveling for me is a really big thing. And it feels it's like my body recognizes that it's home immediately. The sun, the humidity, it's just the earth, like the people who look like me. It's like I just don't need to. There are so much more things that I need to do to make myself
Yeah.
well when I'm in the UK. That
Yes.
literally, when I'm in Ghana, you don't even need to. Like you just put a tiny bit of shea butter on and you're good to
There
go.
you go.
And I feel like
Keep it going.
when
Keep
I
it moving.
when I feel
Exactly.
like I'm in the UK, I'm like layers and layers and layers, and my
Me too.
skin's still dry.
Girl, talk about
Yeah, so it's some little things like that, but then it's a big thing because you feel your body recognizes that, oh, this is where I belong. And once you get that grounded feeling that you feel well in your body, there's so much more that you can do instead of always trying to take this supplement to do this or eat this to
there you
make
go.
yourself feel better.
There you
Just
go.
everything works, like your mind
Yeah.
works, your body works, and it just all
Yeah.
feels connected.
Yes. Woo. I love what you said, because I think that we have, and I understand why we have, but I think in the so-called Western world, and I'm talking about black folks in the Western world, I think so-called conscious, we have become kind of, yes, supplement obsessed. I mean, I want to show you the obsession of thinking that the the way the way I've been programmed in a sense, or have to take care of myself, and to the degree that I have to take care of myself in the States is so different when you travel somewhere else. But it takes you a minute to make that transition.
Yeah.
Like you said, because your body is almost in the in between place, and your mind remembers you had to do all these things. You're feeling this place, and it's pulling you to these different places, but you're not really sure. You're trying to hold on. The fact that I took a goddamn 12 pound, because I weighed it, it was about 12 pounds. Could have been a broken scale, but it was a lot. It was like over 12 pound Vitamix to the DR was ridiculous, but there was no frame of reference. I had more supplements in bags, like the hemp seeds, the chia seeds, the goji berries, the spirulina. Like it was on. Like I mean, I remember the guy was with Jesus was like, "What's some of this?" It's like, "Don't worry, it's good for you." But what I realized, we never used chia. It was a cheap blend that you probably get for $10 in the States. And it was this is we talking about fresh fruits and vegetables. How much blending do you think they really need? No, not much. It was the most funniest thing that I thought I needed this. I had cosmetics, like even though I'm all natural, it's like this butter and this oil, then the water, and then the other oil, and then this. And all I could get on was first it was shea butter because that's what I had, but then I found this cocoa butter because they grow cacao, and the
Mm.
cocoa butter wound up being the best thing for the Dominican Republic because it grew there. So basically, I needed no Vitamix. I could have just put all the so-called natural beauty products that I had and just got cocoa butter. And I used the Gabon, and the Gabon, let's talk about that. The Gabon is soap, but that's the Spanish word for soap. So check out the word. So anyway, I used the Gabon that they sell for probably 23 cents. I mean, it was freaking incredible how much you didn't need. And I think that that's something that I just kind of want to let you travelers know. It's luxury, and bring the things that you want, but also bring that openness.
Yeah.
Because I think that is what you're going to need to be in another country. That really, it is so true to the adage that everything is provided for you. That everything you need, you already have. Like traveling taught me that in ways that I never knew. The fear of something over there is not going to be enough. And I say, leave that, just take that out your mind. You're ready for this. It has everything you need in order for you to have a great time, in order
Yeah.
for you to feel beautiful, in order for you to feel happy, in order for you to be joyful. It has more than. And I learned that. So when you come, definitely, actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually talk to Sadia. When we do come, because I need to know, so our people need to know, how should we be packing? What do we need to be? What are the best garments to be wearing in such a hot climate? And the other question is, October, is it still hot in
Yeah,
Ghana?
it's still hot in Ghana. Because at the moment it's the raining season in Ghana at the moment, but it's still very hot.
It's very hot.
Yeah, but it's the rainy season. But in October, it will be hot. Sometimes it can get up to 40 degrees centigrade. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it gets really hot. So it's really loose cotton clothing. That's what I would suggest. Your favorite outfit. There's no. If you want to wear shorts, you can wear shorts. If you want to wear a low cut top, you can wear a low cut top. It's like like there's none of that.
Just
Like,
loose cotton and
yeah,
just cool. Okay,
yeah,
good.
just cool, like
Good.
things that, because you're going to sweat a lot.
Right. Okay.
So just anything that makes you feel you're most comfortable, that's what you want to be in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. Good.
but
Good. We're also going to definitely talk about like repellents. I mean, should we be concerned? Because I know about mosquitoes now, honey. Kids love me, but they don't actually. They pretty okay with me. I think I got to stay in the place long enough. Then they'd be like, okay, you're not as exciting. So, what would you say about mosquitoes? Because I know Ghana got to be have some
oh
fierce.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
got some devilish mosquitoes,
Yeah. Sure.
which love me. Like I get bitten so much.
Right.
But yeah, you do need to bring mosquito repellent. We'll be providing some mosquito repellent because you'll be getting a welcome pack when you arrive. Um,
That's what
yeah,
I like. Yeah.
do bring some mosquito repellent because you're definitely going to need it.
Good.
But the room that you're staying in will have like a mosquito net and all those things. So you won't need to worry so much about when you're indoors, but when you're outside, yeah.
Right. Okay, good. That's wonderful. I'm getting excited, and you know what's the deal? While what I'm doing with these ladies, and they may know, they may not know, they may know me by now, is see, you already going. So we're just going into the next conversation of what you're going to need while you're there. And that's like what I did. I was thinking about today and how, just coming back from this country that I was living in for 2 months and 2.5, I was there prior and like months before.
Mm.
And I'm not going to say I'm having the hardest time coming back. I'm accepting that I'm gone. I'm accepting. That I'm not really in my body, which at some point I'm going to want to have to come back into. And I'm not, therefore, not really in my space. And they're going to feel this. The ladies are going to feel that instant, dropping of your old self and the really the newness of your newness. And you're going to feel it. And that transition from traveling and leaving the country to coming back is no joke. I'm gonna tell you that right now, especially if it called you or there was something there. And I realized for me, the same way I'm gonna tell you how to exit and one country and transition back into your other is the same way you transition from your country when you go there to another. And this is a manifestation tip that I want to share. I play the music of the country. Play the music, play it all day. I love bachata. I keep telling you this, you already know this. So all day to the point I was not here, y'all. That music took me to the place on a certain street, at a certain time, in a certain way, with certain people. We was eating certain foods. We was talking having certain conversations. That music, I wasn't even transported. I never left. I'm telling you this because it was such a major now moment. It was such a being in the now moment. I don't know, I can't remember being in it for hours at a time. It is as profound as the swirling dervish or anything else you can do on a spiritual level that you can do for hours. But you are clearly in a place. Make sure if you want to start going and you're not sure how, find music from Ghana that you love and start playing it. Play it all day. You put it on your phone, put it on your ringer, play it at lunchtime while you're having lunch, play it while you're getting yourself together, play it in the bathtub. Play it to the point that your life becomes that. And it will happen because everything is energy, everything is frequency, and especially, so we talk about everything is energy and everything is frequency. We talk about ourselves, then we're talking about what is the most energy, frequency, entity or existence. It's music. Music is all about frequency. Music is all about energy. Music is all about vibration. That's why you could love a song in Spanish or a song in Yoruba, a song in Igbo, or a song in Tweed. It doesn't matter why the language. That's why you could transcend that language thing because you got a rhythm. What's very interesting. And I need y'all to know, let's talk about that, that which is already in you. So when you start practicing it again, it becomes you and you're already there. When I was in DR, people kept saying, oh my God, how do you know bachata? Oh my God, how do you know merengue? Oh my God, how do you know salsa? You Dominican? Salsa not Dominican, but the other two are. Like, it was to them like, you can't know this because you're not Dominican. I kept saying, but I'm African. Like, it's already, I want to say black people got rhythm, y'all. Like, like, it was serious. Like, I'm black, y'all. So that's why I know how to move to that beat because a black person, and I'm not assuming, I know I'm generalizing. What I'm saying is, and I'm not generalizing this, I'm African and you are African too. So that's why my dance looks like your dance because it's just different islands, places dropped. And I think the knowledge of that helps you to acclimate into countries in a way. Dance the dance, learn the music, already practice. It's an exercise, it works. And I just want to tell you, what do you do? So for me, that's something that I do when I'm getting ready to travel to a place, or if I loved it and I just don't want to let it go yet, how I keep it going, I actually listen and drench myself into the music. What are some of the ways that if you want to go on a trip to and you're not sure how you're going to get there, Are there any ways on a maybe a metaphysical level, of course, everything's spiritual, that you do to kind of bring it into existence and make it real in the body? That's why I love the dancing, because that's like in the
Mm.
body real. What do you suggest? Or do you have any methods?
I don't have. For me, it's more about getting rid of the fear, so to let that
Okay.
manifestation take place. And I do a lot of breath work.
Yes.
So I, so I always just lie down and do that two-part breath, and kind of for half an hour, and just clear energetic field. And once I get rid, because sometimes we're holding on to fears that are not ours, things that we just collected during the day. Especially if you're really empathic, then sometimes if you tell your family or friends, oh, I'm traveling to this place which they've never traveled to, or don't know much about, but you gather those fears as well. So I was just trying to get rid of all those fears, get rid of my own fears, get rid of other people's fears, and see what's really in the center of me, and just sit there and really visualize myself being in that place. Um, and it feels so
Right.
real. It's almost like a daydream. It's just spending your time, like how little, like we always think of little kids daydream. I mean, if I want to manifest something, I spend my time daydreaming about it.
Yes. Yes.
Or I'm really an information collector, so I'll go
Yes.
online and I'll learn everything about that country. I'll learn about the transport system. I'll learn about the weather. I'll learn about I'll read books about those things, and
Right.
to make it seem real to me, because it is real.
It is
It's
real.
just, yeah, because time is not linear in that way.
That's right.
It's all happening at the same time. So just to
That's right.
call that to myself and envisage myself being in there, walking on that street, eating that food, what the sounds are like, what the energy of that place feels like, and kind of
So
getting
see,
with it.
and
Yeah,
that's all. In the end, we're really doing the same thing,
yeah,
because that's exactly right. Like the song then sparks the thing, and the thing I did, and the places I went, and the thing, because it goes both ways. Like you said, you could use it one way to get what you want, or use it one way to hold on to what you want.
mm,
Because remember, I was saying, coming back here, you just had some truth about reality, about how you can live, where you can live, how people live that's living just as wonderful and longer than you. And then you come back into your present day reality, and you go, oh my God, after a while, oh my God, becomes normal, like we were talking about in the beginning. So I do think that you're right. I think that it's definitely the fear is in there. And I'm with you when you said earlier, the fear is part of it. Like, take the fear with you. I agree with you on that. Feel that fear and do it anyway type time.
yeah.
It, don't it's not going away. Like the fear, the every time, every traveler, I'm sure, especially when they're going to a new country or the same one, there is that little bit of fear, but that fear is excitement. And I think you're right. Changing it with the breath, being very present, going within. You said the word, my favorite word is always daydream, because that's what I used to call it when I was a kid. If we didn't know the word visualization, that was not
Mm.
the word for the little kids. I was daydreaming. And even today, the music again, the music had me in a trance state.
Mm,
And I was able to only focus on that music and the people. And it's funny too. I agree with you. I think she got a great tip, and I want to just highlight this tip, because I researching something makes you feel much more comfortable, like you said. For me, I'm just stuck on the thing. I'm stuck on this music, and I'm stuck on the when I heard out it was Dominican blues, and I'm stuck on a connection to others. So like I've been on like YouTube and everywhere else. My research is who's the players in this bachata? What do they look like? Where are most of them from? And I went down and I was like, all the bachateros are black. Matter of fact, they look straight African. Then I started hearing them talk about, and they say it's African music. And so, yeah, just
yeah.
delve into this. And I think that's the vision I get when we're talking about a luxury trip to Ghana. Let's just fall into the bed, y'all. Like that's what's up. The energy is super high, and you gotta grab it. I feel like don't wait. Okay, I got some comments, and I'm gonna get it. Yes, releasing the fears is key. Yes, making time in the body is great practice. Yes, making it real. Yes, thank you, Beverly. Asada says, yes, I've been holding on to these fears, but I know I'm supposed to travel abroad. I moved around the whole U.S., but what I wanted to travel abroad since a child. Well, I saw it. It's already in you, darling. I saw it
Mm.
since yes, the music. I watch videos of the people and the culture and I dance. Yes. Beverly says, yes, you have to push through the fear. Yes. Take it with you, girl. Hey, Sakina, African girl, Quasi, Arthur, love music and manifesting sisters. Yes, Queen. You know what? And I so agree that you're getting it. That the fear, y'all, sorry, y'all know that happens to me. You know I got to do that at least once a night. I got to drop this damn thing. Okay, just one time every night. It goes with territory. But I just want to say, okay, thank you for okay, God. What you want me to say this or not? Okay, what I know is the fear is part of it. If that's what you're waiting for to release it, you're not going to release it. You're going to use it.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with it. Like I don't know. Maybe we should just give that a new name. It's that feeling you feel because you know you're about to do something magnificent and great. And when you open that door, when you step in that door to those things that you so-called think you're scared, that's what I'm telling you. It's like blessings is just lining up for you. And every choice you make, you start being more clear. I feel like when we're in the Western world, we over contemplate, which means we overthink, which means we talk ourselves out of things that we really should be doing. And I think sometimes when you start going to, I find countries outside of the West, or at least countries that's more Afro-centered. So Africa, here we go, right? I find that you don't question as much as you used to. As a matter of fact, a lot of the fears you may walk into Ghana with, you will leave your burdens down there and you will walk out with a lot less fears because if I can be, thank you, Ashe, that's what the bells say. So if I could be, I've changed from this going to this country. Like I'm another person, but it opened me up to the next thing. I'm ready for the big change. I'm ready for the growth. Ladies, this is for your growth. It's not anywhere. We're not talking about anywhere. We're talking about the place where your people came through and was not supposed to return. And I named this live stream. Donna is waiting,
Mm.
waiting for you. You know, I see her as a mother, and her arms is like, I'm not leaving this dock until everybody comes over. So I'm just gonna wait for you to come because you coming, and I'm just gonna wait. And so come. Don't
Yeah.
be afraid. Be afraid and come anyway. I'm not worried about you being scared. Play your damn music, okay? Get a dance. Go get an outfit from Ghana. Like, like me, I personally plan on having some outfits made in Ghana. Is that
Yeah.
something that's on
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do all of that, ladies. So I'm gonna let Sadia. I wanted to talk to Sadia. So Sadia, what are some? Because I know the ladies want to know. What are some like? And this is for me too. What is some herbal? And let me ask you about herbs because I want to ask you a general question, but I also want to know is each herb diagnosed to each person in a different way? Depending on who they are.
I'm just
So
gonna
that's my question.
Okay, I'm just gonna take
Right.
a sip of water and then I'm gonna answer your question.
Good. Yeah, because I want to know, are there any herbs that we could take that would actually get us a little more tranquila? We could be a little more relaxed and feeling better about maybe traveling or anything you suggest on the calming down of the human. How do we do that with
So
herbs?
yeah, so the first thing that I would say is that a lot of people use herbal medicine in the way that they use allopathic medicine, in that you have a headache, you take a paracetamol. No, I don't know what do you have in some kind of painkiller that you have in the UK. We
Right,
have a paracetamol,
right,
um, and herbs are not. You don't use herbs in quite the same way because you have a thing
that's right.
called energetics, and so it's more important to know the type of person who has the illness rather than the illness that the person has. Because, for
Right,
example, if you have 5 people who all have asthma, the
right.
reason why they all have asthma is
It's
different.
different, of course.
And so you have different herbs. That's why sometimes you take a herb and it doesn't work for you, and you're like, this herb's rubbish, it doesn't work. But
Right,
actually, it's got nothing to do with the herb. Maybe the herb needs a few more things added to it. Maybe the herb doesn't work for your particular type of body. So I always say that turmeric is a thing that everyone's talking about lately,
Everybody and their mama. Uh-huh.
and it's an amazing herb. It's but for example, if you have um, musculoskeletal problems, so you've got something like fibromyalgia, you're that type of body where everything's quite tight and your muscles are pulling on your bones somewhat, if that's the way that I could explain it. Turmeric is not going to be great for you. In fact, turmeric might make you feel a bit more sick. You need to add another herb to that because you need something to be moist. You need some moisture in your system. So you'll add something like marshmallow to your turmeric and it will work fine.
Right.
So I'd like people to think about the energetics of the herbs or the foods that they're cooking. So if you use, for example, ginger is like a warming
Yes.
herb. So that's why you can take it if you have a cold, but if you have a fever, would you necessarily want to take ginger? So you need to think.
Right.
But for example, for me, I can take marigold herb, like marigold tea, for a range of illnesses that are not you wouldn't traditionally associate with marigold curing. But because of my type of body, because of like you can look at your astrological chart and all those things, because I've got a few constrictions in my chart. Marigolds work really amazingly for me because I need that nourishment from that orange bright flower.
That's right.
So I, I would say every time when someone's unwell, I always think of the spiritual reasons for that illness, how their mind is working, the foods that they're eating, the types of exercise that they're doing. I'm not talking about being a gym rat or anything like that, but just movement, because
Right.
movement itself is devotion to your body and devotion to the goddess.
All the way, honey.
Yeah.
I know.
So before you even touch a herb, think about all
Yes.
those things. Think about the spiritual reasons for the imbalance in your body.
That's
Think
right.
about the way that you think about things, because you can take all the herbs in the world for your high blood pressure, but if you're not dealing with the problem that you're angry about, it's
Come
not.
on.
You're just going to be dealing with that for years.
That's right.
So herbs are there to cure and support you, but they're not the only thing that you need to think about, because food is the biggest healer, because we're constantly ingesting food,
That's
and
right.
that's our greatest medicine. And also your
Yes.
thoughts are your medicine. You eat from everywhere. The sounds that the things that you watch is food. The people you
Yes.
surround yourself with is food. The energy that you're in is food. It's all
Yes.
food. Food isn't just the things that you put into your mouth.
That's right.
So I know that I'm a herbalist and I am all about the herbs, but I always
Right.
consider the other things, because
That's
it's quite possible to wake up tomorrow and decide I am healed by your mind
right.
alone, by the thought alone.
That's right.
But sometimes we can't accept that because it's just
Right.
it's just so far beyond us to think I can say to myself, the goddess within can say, I am healed, and then and I wake up the next day and I am healed. And for me, like this isn't just an abstract thing for me, because in December last year, I was having treatment. Like I was lying. I can't really. How do I explain this? I was having this frequency treatment. So it's like these metal like frequencies which are on the. You lie in this bed, and these metal I guess like an energy field goes around your body, and it's supposed to be for my fibromyalgia. But I've been afraid of dogs my whole life, and it cured my fear of dogs,
Wow.
which is so
Wow.
strange. I didn't go in
Wow.
there for that. I didn't wasn't really that bothered that I was afraid of dogs my whole
Right.
life, but
Yes.
this recalibrated myself, and I was no
Yes.
longer afraid of dogs. But even though
Yes.
it's 8 months later, when I see a dog, my body, I have like muscle memory where I want to move away from the
Yes.
dog, but I don't have that
Right.
thing in my brain anymore that says you're afraid of dogs. So it's like two different things,
That's
because I haven't really gone through kind of like exposure therapy or actually had the intention of getting rid of my fear of dogs. So it's two different, like in my brain is healed, but my body's just
right.
still like I'm still
Right.
afraid of dogs. So now I have to say to myself, actually, Sadie, you're not afraid of dogs anymore. It's fine. You can walk
Right.
by the
It's just a
dogs.
reminder.
It's just a
Yeah.
reminder. And sometimes,
Yes.
like with healing, we need to do that. We need to first accept the thought inside that actually you're healed. And yes, you can take your herbs. Yes, you can do these things. But first believe that you're healed, and then all those other things follow after. The healing follows after that. But first, the
Yes.
acceptance that you are healed, not that you are healing, but you are healed.
You're healed. You're whole and complete.
Mm.
You know, it's beautiful. You talked about the recalibration of certain kinds of energy healing that you experience. And I think, too, and we kind of both spoke on this, being in those natural environments will do that as well.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we talked about the idea. I totally not, I had a fear of dogs, and I just felt like I wasn't really into this whole pet thing and animals and dogs. It wasn't me. And it's interesting, but again, I went to this island and I stayed with a woman with a dog, and I love all dogs.
Mm.
First of all, the dogs in the island are the most tranquilo dogs, perros I ever seen in my life. They are so, it's the heat, I guess. They just don't bark. They chill. Nobody bothers them. They're not harassed. They are the most chill. It's interesting. The universe will say, yes, it is time for you to let go. And it will send you to these places. And you are right. Healing is simultaneously. Healing is simultaneous. And what I mean by that is you think you're going for one thing and you're healing in one area, and you're right, you wake up and you're not afraid of dogs anymore, you're not afraid of heights anymore,
Yeah.
and you didn't do anything you didn't have to do an extreme sport or be in some, extreme challenge to overcome the fear, because this is what we're fed in the States, that you got to do extreme sports and extreme challenges, and then you're facing your fears. They didn't tell you just by dancing bachata or dancing merengue or sitting by the ocean or eating a meal with family is actually is recalibrating the body so much that it's bringing it back to a normal state
Yeah.
or a natural state.
Mm.
And I really mean natural state, because you get up at a certain time. I was in an environment where the daytime was God. I mean, literally the daytime, which is interesting, and even in the culture and the word, the daytime is buenos dias. It's the masculine. It's the sun coming up in the language itself. But the afternoon and the evening makes sense. The moon time is buenas. So even in the language, it shows you how there's the rhythms and the movement, and it's kind
Mm.
of accepted. I love the idea that the masculine energy rules the day and the feminine energy rules the afternoon and the evening, and that it brings in this kind of balance. Because I mean, all this is recalibrating. Just the idea. I was even watching when I was actually learning the salsa, merengue, bachata, and how the dance looks better when the man. Not only is it important that somebody's leading, so in this case it's the man. In this particular dances, somebody's leading. But when they lead right, when they lead correctly, you as a woman are a better dancer. I
Mm.
see it. If you don't follow their lead, the dance looks stupid. It looks jacked up. Something's wrong. The moment you surrender and follow the lead, he makes you look good because you can feel him and you're not fighting it. So you move into things a lot better. I say all that to say, you think it's just dancing, but you just said it again. Movement is more importante. Movement is essential
Yeah.
to healing, to releasing, to letting go. Because a lot of that feelings that you're giving words to are really emotions, and they're trapped in the body. But so of course, if you're gonna untrap these emotions or release these things that are trapped in your body, you just released everything that was attached to that fearful
Yeah.
emotion. And dance, that's what I'm saying. The recalibration is, you're right, it's not some obsession, or like you said, we have to take 50 herbs that because somebody said or we read about, or we gotta jump off a cliff and then we won't be afraid of heights. Like, no, you have to live and immerse yourself in what is natural for us as Africans. And it's amazing that it's true, just going home or going to places that feel like home, you know. I think about the whole transatlantic slave trade and how Ghana right now is celebrating. I mean, I guess I don't know if many countries in the continent is celebrating that 400 years of the first enslaved Africans being coming to Virginia to be so-called slaves, and this is the beginning. And now we're remembering that time, and it's through celebration, it's through living beautiful, like you said. Like I still love how it's all brought back to this is who we are, and this is our natural state. And if we were more in our natural state, I think we would have less illnesses.
Yeah.
I see it. My eyesight was so improving looking at all that green. My body was changing. My face was changing. I told you, my nose got wider. My skin got darker. Nature, your body already knows how to adapt. How beautiful is that? Like nobody's understanding that when you get darker when you go to a place like the Caribbean or continent of Africa, because your body is adapting to what it knows the environment has for you.
Yeah.
You should. We got it all. The body's already knowing I'm gonna get darker because you're not gonna make it out here if I don't. And your hair gonna be real thick, and your nose gonna spread just a tad bit because the air is different that you're breathing. The moisture in it. It's the sounds, talk about sound therapy, listening to music, the drums, the sound, the notes that's in the music. It's very healing, y'all. Very, very healing. And it's very, it denotes a culture, the energy of the culture. It's in the music, it's in the food, but it's in you.
Yeah.
And you are returning home, and Africa is waiting, and Ghana is waiting. I want to see how many ladies. Let me get some of your comments and see how many of y'all are coming. Yes, you have to. Okay, push through the field. Let's see. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for being on. I want to thank Sadia. So Sadia has put. I'm going to ask her to do it again for new people coming on. She put her email in the comment box. So if anybody wants to personally email her, listen. She said it in the beginning. If you missed it. We will walk you through. She can walk you through any concerns that you have.
Yeah.
She got you. And I know y'all it's easy. We can do this and we can do it together. So we're not leaving you out there. It's from October 25th to the 31st. It's 7 nights in Ghana. It's luxury. It's beautiful. So let's talk a little bit and then we'll kind of conclude it. Let's talk a little bit about Sadia for the ladies that want to know more, because I see some familiar names and I see some travelers here, and I know that some of the questions they may have. So could you tell us a little bit about the hotel and the place that we're staying and what made you choose that place, and just get us excited, because I love nice hotels. Like I love nice hotels.
I mean, I picked the hotel because I wanted the retreat based in Cape Coast, just because of the historical background of the place, because of the castles in both Cape Coast and Elmina, and because I wanted to be by the ocean and by the beach, because of the healing that you get from being by the water. Um, the hotel is the best hotel that there is in Cape Coast. It's newly built. It's only been open for a short space of time, and it's just got the really beautiful interiors, both the room, the space that we'll be using. The outside is really beautiful. It's got beautiful seating areas. Um, I just wanted everything to be really nourishing, like nourishing food. Everything that we look at is really nourishing and beautiful and elevating and befitting of the name Reclaiming the Queen, because we are queens coming back to reclaim our power, reclaim the healing, reclaim the medicine that we're carrying around with us, but just to remember it really, and to create that loving, supporting environment. Um, and that's why I picked that hotel. It's just beautiful, um, and I wanted the best,
Honey,
essentially.
you provided it, because I wanted to say, ladies, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Sadia, if you could actually put in the website for Reclaiming the Queen,
Yeah,
yeah, so they know, because if you go to the website, she has pictures. She has pictures of the hotel, the rooms. It's just a lot of information there. And remember, the first step to going anywhere is to, you know, believe that you can have it and see it and bring it in and daydream. Daydreaming is very essential. This is my perfect. And ladies, if you are here and you are able to comment, I wanted to leave us with what is this image? What is the perfect daydream that we are having when it comes to this specific and this particular Ghana trip? And I'll give you an example. I'm going to show you from me. So as many of you know, I'm selling all of my stuff and I'm moving. My lease will be up at the end of October, so this is actually perfect. And this image that I have, because it's already done, we're already there, all the ladies are assembled, we're all ready to go. The image is me locking the door with the key or just leaving the key on the table on the countertop, closing the door behind me, stepping into my Uber with one suitcase, that's a goal, with one suitcase, empty house, never to return again, and getting on that plane first class, because that's what I want, and going to Ghana in the style. Like, that is my image, and it's so important. If you could have that image of what that day is going to look like, that day that you're taking that taxi or that Uber to that airport to go to the one that says Ghana Air or whatever we'll be traveling on. And if you have questions on that, Sadia can answer that as well. Have an image in your mind of how that trip or how you're going to be entering into that trip. And it would be that or so much more. Sadia, do you have an image of going to Ghana yourself and getting ready for all of us and getting ready for the people? Is there an image that you're carrying with you?
For me, the image I'm really carrying with me is all of us sitting in a circle and holding
Yes.
hands and listening to each other and
Yes.
bringing all those kind of what you think of the shadow dark emotions, so the fear, the resentment, the sadness, the grief, the envy, bringing all of that and transmuting it in a circle. So all those things, all those emotions that we're essentially ashamed of and things that we
Yes.
bury, just bringing
Yes.
all of that with us, because the reason why that those things can control us is because we keep them buried. Once you bring them out to light, there's nothing that
There you
they
go.
can't control you anymore. They're the gremlins that you've brought to light. You've
Come on
changed
now.
them, and so that's what I keep. I hold that image in my mind all day, every day, and it's
I love
us
it.
sitting in a circle
Yes.
and kind of pouring out all the things that are inside that we've hidden deep down, but
That's
also
it.
expressing our joy, because I think
Yeah.
there's black women are given only very small spaces of where we can express our joy. You can go really
This is so
wild in
true.
church, but you can't really
Yeah.
laugh loudly when you're in public because of the idea of
Right.
respectability politics and all those kinds of
Right.
things. So giving
Yes.
us space to express our joy as well, expressing the dark things, but also expressing the light. And so that's
That's right.
what, for me, I hold that image in my mind, just all of us sitting around, and
Yeah.
that's that sisterhood.
I say.
Yeah.
I say. It's so dang perfect. I love the image. I'm holding that image. I'm loving that image. Let me just see, ladies. I want to thank you. Quite a few of you are on. Ladies, please share this. I'm going to actually, of course, share it to YouTube as well. Please share with all your social media platforms, even if you don't think you're going. And I really don't know why you think you're not going, but let other people that might want to know go, and at least let them get the love and the information from these videos, because I'm happy to share. As many of you know, I am moving forward, and this is how I share my classes as live. Sadia give a class by herself. I mean, let's just give it up. And so the class, this is our class, this is our giving, this is our sharing. So I do have ways for you to donate to my cause, because you know, like, I'm out. And when I go to Ghana, I'll know nowhere where I'm going from there. Like, I have no idea. I'm gonna stay in Ghana for a while. That's maybe. Africa is amazing and it's alive. You
Mm.
know, that's the thing about, I think, with many cultures, especially cultures that have been isolated from the main cultures, and they will say that, what do you want people to know? You know, that we're still here, that we're still alive, that Africa is waiting, Africa is calling, Africa is still, it's not, I think why I love this idea of the luxury spa feeling that you're giving is, I think for a lot of us, not only do we romanticize or over romanticize even the continent or Africa itself, but we also we don't we romanticize something a little more ancient or something that's a little old. I don't know if a lot of us see Ghana as modern, and it's quite modern. But I
Mm.
think that can also be some fears, and I think why you're having it in this place, it's just saying a lot to the world. Like, listen, y'all, I know diasporans, you've heard stuff. I know you've had experience. I know you even wanted to be something, but allowed to be what it is, and it's many of that as far as village life, but there's city life. And
Yeah.
I remember when I was, and I can't remember where I was, but it was clear that there were so many different realities. Oh, right here in North Carolina, when I first moved here, my vision of the South was everybody was what I call country. But it was interesting. There was places I lived in the country, and I then moved to the city. There's people in Durham that have never been to the country. They ain't been to the country. They don't, because that's not what the South. That's what I thought, but that's what it wasn't. And I think that was a wonderful, pleasant surprise to know that I don't know, and that the South has the cities and people do things like city folk, but they don't go to the country. And I think that Ghana is leading the way in so many levels. Like I said, the call for the diasporans to come back home, hopefully the offering of dual citizenship, the uh, putting things in place for African Americans to have a nice transition if they wanted to, just leading edge to
Yeah.
me, Ghana. And what would you say about your country? Because I feel like I put Ghana up there with infrastructure more advanced than most. I mean,
Yeah.
what would you say about Ghana? And of course, places in Ghana like Accra or
I would say that Accra is really a busy city. It's like it's more metropolitan than you would expect it to be. We've got people from all over the world in Accra.
yes,
Um, yeah, it's, I'm always like it always reminds me of like almost like an African London or like an African New York because it's so
there you go.
metropolitan.
What it feels like.
Um, and you can get foods from everywhere. There are restaurants from all over the world.
Everywhere.
Um, and for me, it's a very it's a very peaceful country with peaceful, helpful people who are really kind
Yeah,
and really loving.
yeah,
Um, and that's what I think when I think of a Ghanaian. I'm not just saying that because I'm Ghanaian, but when I think of a
yeah,
Ghanaian, I always think of really happy, peaceful, loving people. And
yeah,
because of the callback, because of the president has basically calling people back home, there's
yes,
even more interest of people welcoming people from the diaspora back to
yes,
Ghana.
yes. Are you still here, darling?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm just listening to you.
yeah. So for me, I would say that it's a place that my body recognizes. I mean, I went to Hong Kong last year, and my body recognized the heat and the humidity. And
Yes.
my friends were saying you're the only person I've ever heard who's come to Hong Kong who said that they love the heat and the humidity.
There you
And
go. Right?
but it reminded because it's kind of on the same like latitude
Yeah,
as Ghana, and it reminded
yeah.
me of my body automatically was just like
There you
ah,
go. There you go.
this is what it feels like.
There
And for
you
me,
go.
that's the most important thing is to go to a place where you just feel like you can be yourself and your
That's right.
body just recalibrates itself,
This is
essentially.
true. This
And
is true.
one last thing that I'd like to add is that
Okay.
if you've been to the website, you would see the sign Sankofa.
Yes.
That it's all over the
Yes.
site. And
See.
what I want to kind of impress on everyone, all the ladies watching, is that it means go back and get it, but it's
That
also
child,
it's
I'm gonna show you.
it's it's oh yeah, please do, yeah,
Yeah, keep
yeah.
talking. You're doing this
It's
thing.
it's kind of like a commandment to go back and reclaim what is yours, but it's also a promise that what you're looking for also exists and is there, and that
Wow.
it, you don't have to go out and find it. You just have to go back and reclaim it.
That's right.
Um, and it's a promise from our ancestors, those who've gone before us, that
Yes.
what everything that we need is already there for us. And so
Yes.
that's it's why I chose that Adinkara symbol for the website, because it's
Love
every time I go on there, and every time the ladies see it, I want them to remember that the healing that they're looking for, the power that they're looking for, if they're feeling lost in any way, if they're feeling sick, everything that they require exists. It's not some kind of fantasy that's out there. They just need to go back and return
That's right.
and collect it. It's a promise
That's a
that that
promise. I love
that it's there for you.
that. That's very, very, very powerful. And I get that on so many levels. And I want to thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for being here. So, y'all, we are going to keep doing these live streams for you all. We'll do it at least once a week, I say, until we get closer. And we want any questions, any thoughts, ideas, but mostly questions and comments. Please leave it in the comment box, and Sadia and I will do our best. Sadia's going to get it. She's going to get you because, you know. And for those that are very serious and you just need to be talked through it a bit, again, get in touch with either one of us and we can talk you through it. Sadia knows a lot more than I do about the continent. I just, like she said, I just know what I feel. And the way she described Hong Kong, that's why, y'all, I was like that in the DR.
Yeah.
It was Africa. It was that same feeling. But because, too, don't forget, you're right. I think all dark people have this thing. And I agree with you that this idea of people of color thing is really starting to say, wow, are all these extensions of Africa manifested in a way that is still diasporic, that is the African diasporic even, extended beyond what we call black countries. I mean, let's talk about Cambodia, Vietnam. I mean, I know black people that go there and feel a feeling, right? The weather, the people, the way they act, the tones. Africa is very powerful, and its effect on the world is very powerful. So
Mm.
for us as diasporians to go back there will, like I said, not only change us, but change Africa, because just like we evolve, God evolves. And Africa, in a sense, is that for a lot of us. It is the God we never saw, we never touched, we thought we lost, we thought we were separated from, and we're not. Like she said, I can attest to that. Again, when they asked me, how do you know merengue? How do you know bachata? I said, I know African. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my answer in a way. And it took people a while because the disconnection that I think Europeans or white supremacy, I'm going to say that, has for you, and it makes you think, don't go to Africa, be scared, don't go to Africa, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. There are like these, so a lot of your fears, Sadia talked about, it's not necessarily just your fear. It is the fear that you might discover that you're being played. That's a whole nother thing. We talk about it on YouTube tomorrow. But Sadia, I love you, darling. And I am just so glad you're here. And Asada had a question that I really wanted to address it. He says, how about social worker jobs, just wondering, just in case I don't return to the U.S. So Asada wants to come. Yeah, you heard it. And she like, what can a sister do? So I decided we will cover that in next week's video about possible jobs and stuff that you can do, because I think it's a great question. Yeah, she said, okay, okay, I'm glad I got that in for you. So anybody have questions, it's all legitimate. Um, all I can say, somebody said to me, if this is what the DR did to you, what's going to happen in Ghana? I have no idea. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just ready for it. And Sadia, as our guide, spiritual, like, I'm ready to come and sit on this bed by this woman's feet. And I know you're younger than me, but I'm giving you your props, and you my student, so you made me feel so proud.
Thank
And
you.
y'all, she's amazing. She's dynamic. Many of you have told me she got y'all. I told her all she got to do is talk, and y'all won't buy them tickets. And I would appreciate that, because she's real, and you feel the growth. She heals me every time I come on. And if that's what's happening here, I could imagine a person. So, Sadia, thank you so much for your love, your joy, your peace, your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding, and your beautiful way that you interpret spirit. You're truly an artist, and thank you for being here. So I
Thank you
appreciate you
so
so much.
much. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. Good. They all saying thank you in my tribe. So we will let everybody go. It's my birthday, y'all, so now I'm not going to talk for a while. I'm going back to my music, and I'm going to I'm just walking around the house saying thank you. Like, I'm 52, y'all. What? 52? Oh, my God. Thank you. 52 and feel like I'm 12. Like, I know age is in your head because I don't feel any different than I felt 10, 15 years ago. Not in my body, not in my mind. There's no, oh, my back and, oh, I can't. I'm amazed at how much I can do. I'm amazed at what's left in me. Like, I now know this age thing is such an illusion. And 52, 22, it don't. I just love the 52 because it means you got to listen to some of the things that I say. But other than that, I'm good. So thank you, sister. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Asada. Sister Cerveza. Cerveza. Sister, is that you that called? Wait, I say to you because I think you were the one that's going to hook up with Sadia. So work that out because I need y'all to talk. Happy birthday, my dear. Who has taught me how to just be you so fly? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Felicia Brown. Thank you. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you, Beverly. All right, ladies. I'm going to have a happy one. I'll see you on the Facebook. Thank you for all the donations. I'll see you on YouTube. I'll see you on Facebook. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the donations. Continue to have them come and come on to Ghana with us. We'll see you next week. Me and Sadia will agree on the day, and we'll see you next week, and we're going to keep it going. Come with questions and everything else. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Okay, well, Asada, you need to come to Durham because I'm selling some stuff. Y'all need to come buy this stuff up for me. Like, I'm selling. Sadia, you believe I'm selling all my stuff, girl?
It's amazing. I'm so proud of
Yeah.
you.
This
That's
is something
amazing.
else. This is huge. This is like, I'm gone, y'all. I'm like gone. Like, there's no, you cannot pull me back. It's like, I'm out. I saw the truth. And you know, Asada, I feel you on living the Matrix. And it's not Matrix. You know what it is? It's something that is so indigenous to you. It's just everybody wants it. It's not against anything. Everybody wants the greatest life they can have.
Yeah.
And to go somewhere and see that the great life doesn't have to cost a fortune, doesn't have to actually, it don't really have to cost anything. It just changes your whole mind about what you've been doing to be happy.
Yeah.
And a lot of your unhappiness is because you are disconnected from nature, disconnected from what naturally flows. You don't think you are, because we go to our parks and, you know, we do have our retreats, and then we know that that's the truth, but then we have to go back. And you know, I hope that we were able to get a chance to sit with the ladies that go to Ghana, and we have conversations about really what Asada said is, how do we not go back, or how do we go back to come back and create something? And I think Sadia said all the answers are there. Everything's available to you. So hold that vision. So, all right, Queens, I love you, Sadia. We'll talk later. I'll see you all. Hold on one sec, ladies. Oh, yeah, that's enough. Okay, I'll see you all, ladies, later. Have a beautiful, blessed day. And we'll announce next week again. Share, like, comment, and ask questions. Love you, ladies.
Good
Love you.
night.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
You too. Peace and blessings.